Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Rachel from Rachel on Paper, and today I'm going to be talking about my 2024 planner and journal lineup. I'll also give a brief update of the planners and journals I'm currently using, since the setup I'm currently in is where I'm intending to start 2024 with. So if that sounds good, let's get right to it. So first I want to start with a brief planner update. I have been using the B6 Common Planner from Sterling Ink since June 1st. And originally I set this up with the intention of streamlining my setup from a 2-book system down to a 1-book system. And in the first few months, the 1-book setup was working really well for me. I was planning in here all of my personal planning, goal planning, doing some project planning. I was also journaling and memory keeping and creative journaling in here. And I was having a lot of fun. And this planner is super filled up and has gotten really chunky and really fun to flip through. But for a couple of reasons, the hobonichi weeks is back in the mix. And so just to give a bit of context as to why I'm back in a 2-book system, I think the 1-book setup was definitely an experiment for me, and it was a fun experiment, but I realized in using 1 book that I prefer 2 books, essentially. I prefer to have 1 book that is more on the go, compact, and this B6 Common Planner, especially because I had the full year, was very much starting to feel like a planner that would stay at home on my desk and not one that was that portable. I also like having on the go with me my personal planning that's like very bare bones, functional, like just what I need to know when I'm out and about. Like what's our schedule, what do I have to do, what's the grocery list, what's the meal plan. I liked having all of it separate because it was becoming a bit overwhelming to sift through the fun and the functional in here. The other reason I picked up the hobonichi weeks again, and one reason that got me thinking about or one thing that really got me thinking about whether the 1-book setup was going to work for me was the fact that I counted up the pages I was using each month, and I was consistently using like 40 pages a month in the B6 Common Planner, which meant that if I start 2024 in the Common Planner, which is my intention, spoiler alert, I wasn't going to have enough pages to be using the Common Planner in the same way I had been. And so I started thinking about how to separate out certain pieces of, what I was doing in here into a separate book so I could make the B6 Common Planner work. Because I really love the setup. I love the B6 size. It's really grown on me, and I love a vertical planning layout like we have here. So the way I'm currently using the B6 Common Planner and my hobonichi weeks, so this is a hobonichi weeks that I have in a case from Sojourner, I think Notebooks is the name of this shop. I will link them down below. I bought this secondhand years ago, and it's really held up, and I really like how slim it is. So I have this hobonichi weeks, the sneaker weeks, the mega in here. I had set this up at the beginning of 2023 and then only used it for a couple of months, and then moved back in September. And the way I have been using this is very similar to how I've been using the hobonichi weeks for a long time. I have a running to-do list of just things I need to do. These are all personal tasks, and both of these are these are my personal planners. I have a completely separate work planner, and I like that separation a lot. To me, it feels like I have having a work and personal email. When I want to be done with work, I close out of that inbox. And when I want to be done with work at the end of the day, I close that planner. It stays on my desk next to my computer. And then I have my personal planners that just help me with that transition and setting better boundaries around work. That all said, I have a running to-do list here, big events for the day. I want to know where I need to be, what are the key things I need to remember. about each of these days and about the week overall. And then occasionally tracking Happy Meal down here or orders I'm waiting on. I also have been doing some habit tracking here, but really this is much more focused on just planning and doesn't have as much memory keeping or really any memory keeping and journaling. This is really just focused on planning. And then in the back, I have been using this, again, just really bare bones planning, a weekend to-do list. Sometimes I'll have daily to-do lists back here. Like here you can see some short daily to-do lists, just the personal stuff I have to get done that day. Things I'm planning to bake on Thanksgiving and I have to pick up because we're traveling and I'll be baking somewhere else, long story. But that said, like this is really just like bare bones, pen and paper, personal planning and on the go notebook and planner, which is why I love having the mega weeks because I have lots of pages to also use this as an on the go notebook. And so that's the way I've been using the hobonichi weeks. And I'm still using the B6 Common Planner as a planner, but I have a lot more of the planning focused stuff here. And this is like planner, but mostly journal, creative journal, life book, place that I document everything in. So I do some planning on the weekly pages. I still love time blocking and seeing what my week is gonna look like using a vertical weekly. And I will do some planning in the blank pages in the back whenever I want more space than the hobonichi weeks allows. But this book is much more focused on documenting life. I have trackers and collections in here. I do daily journaling in here. I do some goal reflections, stuff like that. I still think about it like a planner, but I guess it's more of a journal. I don't think these terms really matter, but I think of these together as my personal planning system. And this is essentially what I'm intending to go into 2024 with. So sorry about that, I got cut off. I had a phone call come in on my iPhone and I'm using my phone to film, but I now have the focus feature on and I shouldn't get interrupted again. So that said, I'm planning to use the same setup going into 2024. I picked up a Hobonichi Weeks Mega, the Sneaker Weeks. This is in the raspberry color. I love the Sneaker Weeks, especially because if the slimmer profile, I feel like fits into more covers for the Hobonichi Weeks. And it's super like durable and flexible. I really like the Sneaker Weeks and I was liking this pink color. And so I'm planning to use this exactly how I'm using my Hobonichi Weeks currently. I'll have personal appointments, stuff we have going on as a family, events, birthdays, on the monthlies here. I do usually record big work events or if I'm traveling for work, just so I know, again, what's going on in our day-to-day. And then in the weekly spread here, I'll have a running to-do list, personal to-do list, a habit tracker, and then big day-specific events here. This just gives me a really nice overview of what's going on in a given week. And then in the back here in the notes pages, I'm planning to put all trackers that I want to have for the year in the Hobonichi Weeks, since I am using the half-year version of the Common Planner this year. I'm going to put all of my collections and trackers in the weeks, also in hopes of saving blank pages in the Common Planner. And then I'll put dailies back here when I need it, project-specific task lists, and other stuff as it comes up. This is really just a place to, there's so many pages that it feels like I can use it for whatever I need to, as a personal planner / bullet journal / on-the-go notebook, everyday carry. So that is how I'm planning to use the Hobonichi Weeks, which is essentially how I'm using it now. And then I'm intending to also use the B6 Common Planner again next year. So this is intended to be much more of a place where I am, again, documenting my life. This is going to be a life book in the hobonichi sense, journaling, memory keeping, creative journaling. I will do some planning in here because there are some things I like to plan out with more space than the Hobonichi Weeks affords. So for example, I love using this vertical weekly layout to time block and lay out my week. Even though I have that laid out here, I like to see my weeks in 2 different ways. I've realized that's just true. Like I always try to consolidate and use only one weekly layout, but I always end up coming back to using 2 weekly layouts because I like having a place where I can plan ahead and lay out the week and have a running to-do list. And then here I'm really time blocking and figuring out how to get everything that I have laid out here done in a given week, given everything that's going on and any events or meetings or, time-bound things I have that week. And so, yeah, that is my intention for 2024. I very much think about these together as my personal planner setup. Even though I do journal in the B6 Common Planner, I've long liked to journal in my planner. I journal more when I journal in my planner. And so this will be more heavy on the journaling, but with some planning, and this will be more heavy on the planning, but probably with a little journaling, because again, I like to journal in my planner, and I won't always bring this with me. I like having something small that I can bring with me on the go. So this is what I'm planning to use for personal planning. As I mentioned, I like keeping my personal and work planning separate. And so I'm planning to use in 2024 again, the A5 Hobonichi Day Free. This has worked really well for me for the last year. And, I'm of the mind, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I like having the blank daily pages where I, write to-do list, project to-do list, and having these monthly layouts to essentially plan out my workflow. So knowing my deadlines, when will I work on which paper, which policy brief, when am I in the middle of data collection for a project? This is a nice space to just help me visualize that workflow. So this is my 2024 planner lineup. In terms of journals, I have actually not bought that many. I don't think I've actually bought anything new for journaling in 2024, but I'm essentially planning on keeping up with the same journals I'm currently using. And I did set up one new journal, but I already own the notebook, so I was proud of that because I did not spend money. So just to give you a brief rundown of the journals I'm planning on using, I have this A6 blank Hobonichi notebook that I use as my ink journal. And here is where was my 2023 ink journal, and I have tabbed off where I think I will start 2024, or I know I'll start 2024. I've counted out the pages for 2023, and I've been thinking about this setup, and I'm planning to spend some time over the Christmas holiday setting up my 2024 ink journal. So I'm just gonna keep using this same notebook because I have plenty of pages left. And that is my 2024 ink journal. And then this is a traveler's notebook that I have essentially been using as a Dear Diary journal. So the way I think of a Dear Diary journal is I have in here the type of journaling that I don't want anybody's eyes on is the way I would say that. Like, I want the type of journaling in here to be journaling that's fun to look through, look back on, that I can look back on with friends and family, that I can share on the internet. Like, this is documenting life, but it's not like working out tough emotions or venting or, just doing that type of personal journaling that I think of as more long form journaling that I don't frankly do every day. And so that's what I've been doing in here. I have been using this insert on and off all of 2023. And so at this point, I will probably finish it off by the end of the year, which is fun. But that's how I've been using this journal, and I'm planning to just continue using this insert until I'm finished with it. But I have a bunch of Good Impressions inserts. Is the shop based in Spain. I'll leave the link down below. They make these Tomoe River paper inserts that have 160 pages that I love. And I'm just planning to keep using this until I run out of pages. And when I do, I will use another insert that I already have. And then this is also another journal I've shown on my channel before. This is in the olive. This is the olive Travelers Company cover, and this is the hotel cover. If you have any questions about anything that I haven't mentioned, please leave those down in the comments below. But this is my family memory keeping journal, and I'm planning to just continue using this in 2024 as well. I started using this in June, and it's gotten super chunky. It's really fun to flip through, but I have lots of pages. This is I want to say it's 260 pages. Not B6, standard size notebook from Sterling Ink with the Tomoe River paper and the gold foiled edges. I am obsessed with this notebook and all of her notebooks and planners, and I have been using this to do like family memory keeping. I essentially just print photos once a week or every other week, and here I also, try to really use up my stickers and my washi tape and have fun. I've been experimenting with a bit more of like different forms of journaling or different styles of creative journaling. But yeah, I don't even think I'm halfway through the book, and I've been using this since June. So I'm just gonna keep using this until either the pages run out or it gets too chunky. Like I could totally see it getting too chunky given, how much it fluffs up with the pictures here. So this is my family memory keeping journal. I usually keep this up to date, or I update this like maybe every other week, and it doesn't take a lot of time. It is a lot of fun to look back on and see fill up. And so those are my two other journals, my Dear Diary personal journal, my creative, I guess I do creative journaling in here, but more like family memory keeping journal. And then the last journal I'm planning to go into 2024 with is this reading journal. So I set up another reading journal earlier this year in an Archer and Olive notebook. I showed that setup on my YouTube channel. I'll make sure to link it down below. But I ended up not loving that notebook. And so I have purchased a bunch of the notebooks from Sterling Ink over the last year. I got really excited when she launched this line of Tomoe River paper notebooks. And I feel like, before all of these smaller shops started coming out with Tomoe River paper notebooks in different sizes, they were hard to come by. Like, it was Hobonichi sold blank notebooks with the Tomoe River paper, and a shop called Nanami, or I can't remember the exact name of that store, but there weren't a lot. And I think I had this like scarcity mindset where I was just buying a bunch whenever I saw a new shop would release them, worried that they would eventually go out of stock and people wouldn't restock. Now I think that's not going to be the case, and I also have stocked up on so many extra A5 and B6 and other size notebooks that I am cutting myself off. I don't need extras. But anyway, I had this, and I was not loving the Archer and Olive notebook. I was missing the Tomoe River paper. I've gotten used to journaling in here in this type of paper, and I decided to set up a new reading journal. And so this is an A5 Sterling Ink notebook. This is the full year, so there's a lot of pages. And so I think I can get a couple years out of this reading journal. And so I ended up setting up just a couple of 2023 spreads to track my reading over each month. And then I've started to lay out the spreads that I want to set up for 2024. So I'm planning to film another video of this reading journal setup at some point in December. Yeah, I'm excited about moving into here fully for 2024. I've been slowly setting this up and just did this like one 2023 spread because I decided to prioritize like focusing on the 2024 spreads. But yeah, that is the reading journal. These are all of the journals I'm planning to use in 2024. And I should say I don't keep really, the only one I try to keep up to date is my family memory keeping journal. My reading journal, I update maybe once a month. If that, I haven't been that good about it, but because I track my reading on Goodreads, it's not that hard. It's not hard at all to go back and update it. And then these I, update as I want to and I have the time and interest. But yeah, and then these are the planners I'm intending to use in 2024. So if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. I'm curious what you're planning to use in 2024. I am intending to film setup videos once I finish the setup for this 2024 weeks and my setup for the common planner. I'm going to film more detailed setup videos and talk about how I'm intending to use each layout. And then I'm going to try to film a broader video about how I plan for work because I've gotten a bunch of requests on different videos to go into more detail about how I plan to work. And so I'm planning to film that in December. And I'll also talk about the this planner here that I use for work alongside a bunch of digital planning tools. So yeah, I'm excited to see what you all are using. And I will talk to you all soon. Have a good day now.